Hey guys, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to take these stems that you can get from places like Beatport, and there's a bunch of other places online, and turn them into remix decks. And you're probably wondering, why would you want to do that? Well, remix decks have way more control. F1 controllers can do quite a bit more than like an S8 can do, and being able to use not hot cues, but to be able to monitor each channel in your headphones, which you can't do with stems, that's another real benefit too. So you're going to end up with something looking kind of like that. This is kind of what I'm working on. Okay, so you kind of get the point here. I'm not going to try to make this too long. This requires a couple of things. I tried doing a video earlier, and I was having issues with the synchronization of these remix decks along with other stuff. They worked on their own. They just didn't work when you tried to mix in something else. And I'm going to show you how I fixed that. I've been working on it all day. For starters, you're going to need a program called Audacity. If you don't know about that program, then you should go check it out. It's not hard to find. One of the other things you need to do as well too is, and you can look this up online as well too, it's on Audacity site, is not the system preferences. Preferences of Audacity. Under the libraries, you need to have the FFmpeg library. Look that up. Easy to find, easy to install. So here's what you have here. I already did an import here of a song. So I'm going to show you real quickly, but I'm not going to import it. Just want to show you how to do it. So you're going to go here. You're going to go import audio. You know what? Let me show you new. File, import, audio. And we'll pull this in. Why not? I haven't imported this one yet, so we'll see. So right here we have 5 channels. First channel being the full song, and then this is the stems. So shift, I click the first one, hold down shift, click the bottom one. That's going to select them, the 4 that you want, because we don't need anything more than that. Importing stems takes a moment. Keep in mind, stick around for the entire video here, because you're going to need to see every little step here. And there's going to be a second part of this video that I'm going to do with the camera, showing how to adjust everything on the F1 controller, because just pulling them in, it looks like they work and they'll work with each other. But the biggest problem right there is they won't exactly synchronize properly with your other decks. So in the middle of doing something, you're going to find it real quick that the sync button, it's not going to work for you. And it's very hard to adjust otherwise. So keep this in mind. This is something, I'm preparing this stuff all on an F1 controller. For you guys who have an S8, there's some of the features you just don't have on S8 and the upcoming S5. Hopefully Native Instruments is going to fix that, because it's lacking punch mode. And punch mode is real essential. And even for creating these types of things, the S8 and the S5, if you read, it says performance. They're performance pads. They're for playing. Where like the F1 controller does still have a place out there, because you can use it to actually make your stuff. And this song is taking way longer than I expected to import. Got 14 seconds going here. 13. It's ticking down. So I do appreciate your patience, because at the end of this, it's going to be all worth it. You're going to thank me because no one else has done this on the internet here. Okay, so there's our tracks. Make it easy. View. You don't have to do this, but fit vertically. Take a second here. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's all our tracks. You're going to go File, Export Multiple. Now what else is interesting? You could go in with like the vocal track, for instance, and change things about it. You know, you could remix a stem, technically, very easily doing this kind of stuff. Copy, paste, extend intros, whatever, it doesn't matter. So one of the things I did under options, I want to do it as a wave. I did it as 32-bit. Makes sense. I don't know. Just leaving it like that anyways. Numbering. Tracks override existing. We're going to choose. I already have some folders here. So I made a folder that was remix deck stems. I'm going to make a new folder within that, and I will call it the name of the song, because that just makes sense in the artist. Figures I pick a song that's got a long name. I'm just going to put imprint. I'm lazy. Say choose. Export. We don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about that. Or that. And it exports pretty quick. If you want to know, I'm using 2011, I think it's a late 2011 i7. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm running like, I got a bunch of things here. Machine was going there. I think Ableton's going at the moment. Now, probably what I'm going to do at some point is I might actually put together one of these packs, maybe. I don't really know what the legality behind that is to give away something that I purchased, so I might not be able to. But I'll definitely look into it. So while we're waiting here, I just want to let you know I do have Mixcloud. You want to check out some of my things on there. It's mixcloud.com/Steven with a V, Steven Stone. Ironically, I don't like to be called Steven, but you know, that's all that was available. Okay, so they've exported. Look in here. And there they are. So what we're going to do here is kind of a cheat. I'm going to pull up Traktor. I'm going to pull that back up. So grab this, drag it over, dump it right in that slot. The next one. Sorry. Come on. The next one, drag and drop. And the last one, dump it in. Of course, you can go in here and rename all these things so you can look and know what they are, but it's not really nothing I need to get into right now. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to turn around and I'm going to change the type. I'll make them all loops. so that way I can keep playing around with them and something doesn't run out, you know what I mean? So that's it for this part of the video. We're going to have to come around with part 2, where I'm going to be on the actual unit here and show you how to line these things up, okay? So talk to you real quick. Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of our 2-part video here, where we're taking the native instrument stem files and we're using Audacity to split them up and extract the 4 parts that we need and throw them into the remix decks so we can put a song in each row. And one of the benefits of that, of course, is when you go into punch mode, the song starts here on this timeline. So as soon as I start this track here and I switch over to that one, as the timeline is moving along, I'm going to be able to just jump back and forth between them all, like you're crossfading between the songs without restarting the sample, right? So that's a very cool feature, as well as being able to monitor my individual channels, which is something you can't do with the new stem format. But one of the problems that we ran into, of course, is when we ripped this all in on the first video, it was off. And I'm going to show you what I mean by it being off. So these ones here I had to adjust already. So I'm going to just reset them back so you can kind of see what's going on here. So I have a track load up here. I just got it's a 4-bar loop. That's all. Take quantization off. Right now, master clock on Traktor is set for 125. Everything else is syncing to it. My quantization level is 4. So I'm going to show you something that's already done, just so you see how it's supposed to work. Nice and tight, like you expect to. But this last one here I just imported, it's off. Turn the bass a little bit. And I'm going to put this into a 4-bar loop. So I'm going to go Shift, quantization button, puts it into edit mode. You want to move it over to see NU for nudge. Right? I'm going to press the pad I want to nudge and hold it down. And you're going to adjust it until it sounds good. I've already done this, so I know 25 was my good spot. And then I just do the same for every other sample in there on that row. Because this is all the same song, so that's all I need to do. Real simple. Hold and turn. Now, my punch mode is engaged. So that means I started this song, but these songs here, I'm going to get the loop mode here as well too. And when I say loop mode, I am using an S8. I'm just setting this here for the purposes of the camera, so don't get too offended, all you S8 owners. Now, see, now that sample there sounds like it's off a little bit. So I'm going to go in there. .25 is a spot for that one too. I'm going to put quantization to 1. So stop this, I'm going to stop my metronome track I had going. So essentially the way you'd play this is you'd want to start, push all 4 at the same time to I happen to push the one below it, but it's okay because we're in punch mode. You hold shift and you engage these. puts it in punch mode. The type, that changes it from one shot to a loop. Punch mode only works in a loop. I think I was pushing some buttons underneath. That's what was going on here. So, you know what, I set out to do this, and like I said, I was having difficulties with the nudging. I thought maybe in Audacity I'd be able to straighten it out, and it was just too much work. This was the easy way to do it. Sorry it was been such a long video, but this is a pretty complicated process. I want to be very thorough so people didn't ask a million questions. And yeah, hopefully you guys can have fun with the stems and rip them in there and do some cool stuff with the remix decks again, and we'll call them like Remix Decks STEM Edition, I guess, or something, because it's a new trick.